Hey everybody, this is Jennifer. I'm coming to you with another sales update video. Before I get started, I want to talk about a problem I was having with Windows 10. If you're not interested in this, if your computer is working fine, it's not being slow, you're having no issues whatsoever, or you don't have Windows 10, you can just fast forward. As soon as you see an auction for clothing, that's where the sales update video begins. I really just want to throw this out there because usually when there's a problem with Windows, I seem to be not the only person that has this problem. What happened was about a month ago, my computer started acting a little weird. Over the past week, it really escalated to the point where when I was creating an auction, it wasn't loading the pictures properly. It was freezing on the loading, which you cannot work that way. So I really focused. I was thinking I was going to need a new computer. I buy very cheap computers. I have a Dell that's $400. So when it's like 2 years old, like this one is, I am not going to the Geek Squad and spending $150 for them to do something. I usually just get a new computer. But in that case, it lets me play because if I'm willing to get the new computer, I'm willing to play with the one that I've got to see if I can fix it prior to getting that new computer. I'm not worried about breaking it because I'm just going to get a new one anyway. What I did is, at first I thought it was a problem with Chrome, potentially. I looked into that, but when I went to Explorer, I noticed I was having problems. They were different problems, but I was still having issues in Internet Explorer. I went to Windows 10 updates. I looked for them and I saw that I did need some Windows 10 updates. I went to retrieve them, and when I did, it failed. It would not download the updates for Windows 10. And then when I looked at the history, this is where it really got interesting, I saw for the past month that the Windows updates were failing. So right there, that tells me something happened a month ago that my computer stopped updating. That is when my problems had begun. I just didn't realize it was happening. I do not know a lot about computers, so this is difficult for me. I only got into computers is when I got into eBay. I wanted to be on eBay, never had a computer, literally got a computer when I was 30 years old just to sell on eBay. So it's not like I have a lot of experience with computers or a lot of knowledge about them. But what I did is I researched troubleshooting on Windows 10 and the problem I was having, and I just kept searching and searching. And finally what I saw, it was a different problem than what I was looking for, but someone said if you have updated to the recent version of Windows 10 and that didn't solve your problems, and then they went on to please do this, this, this. And I said, wait a minute, recent version of Windows 10. So I looked up the recent version of Windows 10, which is 1709. I did not. If you go into your settings and you go into, I think it's about, it says about, it will show you this information about what version of Windows you have. And if you don't have 1709, you do not have the latest version of Windows 10. And then when I got to this page, it said right here, once you update to the latest version, it also contains previous updates to the Windows 10 version 1703, which is the one I had. So I was like, okay. So what I did is I went to Microsoft. I went to update to the newest version of Windows 10, which had, just come out the month before, which is exactly when I started having problems. If anybody wants to do this, if they feel like they're having problems and they update to that newest version, just so you're aware, it takes about 2 hours. It did for me. I think it really depends on your computer. It can take longer or less time. But it took me about 2 hours to do the download, and it did allow me to work on the computer while that was happening. But then it asks you to shut down your computer after that, to restart it. But just so you know, it's not just a restart. The whole process starts over again. And what it does is it freezes on the blue screen. It tells you not to shut off your computer. And I just want you to be aware of that because that will take another 2 hours. So if there's something you really need to do on that computer, you will not have access into it for at least 2 hours or maybe longer. But I just wanted to let you know that when I switched over to the newest version of Windows 10, it did all the updates. It's working perfect. So if anybody's having problems, I just wanted to put that out there. Make sure you have the most recent version of Windows 10. For some reason, my computer did not automatically update to it, so maybe yours isn't either. So if you're having a problem, this is something you may want to check into. If this doesn't benefit anybody, I'm sorry, but I figured there might be a couple of people out there that this information might benefit them. Okay, now we'll get started in the sales update video. Let's get over to here. Okay, there we go. The first item I have is a pair of Carhartt men's jeans. I picked these up for $2.75 at the Goodwill. They were half off. And they sold for $19.99 and the buyer paid $27.19 with shipping. This is a pair of Bostonian Windsor dress loafers. They were $5 at the Goodwill, and they're a good size. Like if they're a wide, you usually can get a little bit more money for them. These sold for $31.99 and the buyer paid $45.49 with shipping. Okay, this is it's like a Southwestern Aztec. I always look for that design. So even if it's not a great name, like Massimo, not a great name, but it was a 2XL, which is great. And it has this great design to it. So I did pick it up, and plus it was 50 cents. But honestly, I would have paid like $3 or $4 for it. Either way, it would have worked out. It was only 50 cents, but it did sell for $23.99, and the buyer paid $35.64 with shipping. Okay, this is a pair of Bourne boots. They're ankle boots, and they were $6 at the Goodwill, and they sold for $19.99, and the buyer paid $30.54 with shipping. Okay, this is a men's Joseph and Lyman sweater. Now, I never heard of that name, but I picked it up because it was 100% cashmere, and it was a 2XL, which was a great size too. And it was only $4. It was half off at the Salvation Army, and it sold for $19.99, and the buyer paid $23.95 with shipping. Okay, this hat, usually these hats go on Etsy. Now the problem with this hat, and just in case you start picking up vintage hats, because I talk about vintage hats all the time, one thing to look out for, if the inside is not like a cloth material, but I know I have a better picture. Yeah. But if it's like, some of the materials like really crumbly, and as it gets old, it literally deteriorates, and it becomes kind of disgusting. It just like, it's like the worst dandruff ever. It just keeps coming off and it's everywhere. So I kind of explained that in the auction. I figured someone might want it. They might remove that. I have no idea, but I did explain that this was happening, like this was crumbling apart. But that is something to look out for. So if you're looking at vintage hats, I often overlook that. I really have to pay more attention. Look for a problem with the inside headband. I only paid $2.50. So what I did is I put it on eBay instead of Etsy. I put it out for $5.99 on auction, explained the flaw completely. It sold just for a minimum bid, and the buyer paid $13.59. So I got my $2.50 back, maybe plus $1 or $2. Okay, this is a Chaps corduroy blazer. I picked this up at the Salvation Army. It was half off, so I picked it up for $4, and it sold for $39.99, and the buyer paid $47.19 for shipping. Okay, this was great. This was, you always want to look for spider. That's what it looks like. Anything that's spider, any kind of jacket that's spider, they are really great. This is actually the first one I have ever found in this area. It was in with the jackets. It was in with women's blazers for some reason. It's a men's. So it did have a number in it, which was so great because I was able to find the exact item. So I was able to list it correctly, which gave me this name, Wenjin. So they actually called it a sweater, a core sweater. So all these great keywords in here. This was all information I got from the style number that was on the jacket. I paid $3.50 because it was half off. They're not familiar with this name around here. And it sold for $49.99 within a week, I think. And the buyer paid $57.19. So always look out for the spider jackets and coats. Okay, this is another Chaps blazer, another corduroy blazer. This was also $4. It was half off the Salvation Army. This one sold for $24.99, and the buyer paid $32.59 with shipping. This is a Vineyards Vine polo. I'm starting to see this around here. This is very rare for me with Vineyard Vines. This was $4.50 at the Goodwill. It sold within 24 hours for $22.50, and the buyer paid $29.70 for shipping. Alright, this is a pair of Duluth Trading Company jeans. There's the tag. These jeans sell very well for me. I always pick them up. For me, they're almost like Levi's. They just sell maybe even better than some of the certain numbers of Levi's. I always do well with them. I paid $5.50 at the Goodwill. They sold fairly quickly for $21.59, and the buyer paid $28.79 with shipping. Now, this was a pair of Cole Haan mules. They were pretty beat up. Normally, I don't think I picked them up now. I had them for a while, but they were only $2. And eventually they sold for $11.35, and with shipping, the buyer paid $23. Alright, this is just a pair of women's Old Navy Dreamer jeans. They were $2.75. They were half off at the Goodwill. They sold for $15.99, and the buyer paid $23.19 for shipping. And the last eBay item is a Levi jeans trucker jacket. It was a signature. I don't think it's as good. I'm not sure, but I think signature is like the that's what's sold in Walmart. Don't quote me. I'm not sure. I think it's the lesser valued one. I'm not sure though. Let's see, what did I pay for that? That was $7.50. But even if it's a lesser, like I said, the jean jackets, if it's in good shape, just pick it up. They sell so quickly. People love these jackets. I paid $7.50. It sold for $27.99, and the buyer paid $35.99 with shipping. And I think, again, this sold within a week. So these jean jackets, they're fantastic. If you ever see them, pick them up. Like, even at $7.50, it still did very well. Okay, that's all I have for eBay. Now on Etsy, there's 3 items. This was interesting. This is a tennis racket shoehorn. It was like gold tone, vintage. It was kind of worn. I don't know if you could see the close-up. Let's see. So it really wasn't like in the best shape. I don't know if you can see it. There's a lot of wear and tear to it. But I thought it was so interesting. It was only $1 at the Goodwill, so I wanted to try it. And it sold for $14.99, and the buyer paid $20.69. So if you see this thing, you could pick it up if it's cheap enough. It does sell. Alright, the next item, and I think this was in a haul video that I did. I picked this up at the church sale. I think all my items broke down to like $1.10 a piece. These little trivets, these cast iron trivets, a lot of people use them. They hang them on their walls. This is A Man Works from Sun to Sun, but a woman's work is never done. It was $1.10, and I put it out for $9.99, and it sold, and they paid $14.52 for shipping. So if you see, you'll see these around. If they're cheap enough, definitely pick them up, especially if you sell on Etsy, because they do sell. Alright, the last item is a vintage Western belt. It's a Larry Mahan, I don't know if I'm saying it right, by Legan. This didn't have any buckle, so it's literally just the belt. And I don't know. Yeah, this is only when there was 5 pictures, but you can kind of see it. It was kind of worn, but I was able to make it out. I paid $1.25, half off at the Goodwill, and it sold for $12.99, and the buyer paid $16.22. Okay, that's all I have for today. I hope your sales are picking up as we're going into 4th quarter, and I will see you next time.